Leo. Welcome to your end of September 2023 General Tarot update. It's Raina here. I'll pick an additional card. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of financial independence. This is the ability to do things for yourself. And what are the themes that where this could be threatened or why this wouldn't happen? Well, for instance, and I'm not saying that this would be true 100% of the time, but if a woman is a stay-at-home mother and she decides that her marriage sucks and she wants to get a divorce, but she has no money, how is she going to support her children? How is she going to do anything? Well, that is something that she's thinking about, like, my God, what am I going to do? It can be someone who is 22 years old and maybe you went to community college but you were living at home. Maybe you didn't go to college and you're a barista somewhere. Maybe you want to be on your own, but you're like, it's so expensive, how am I going to do this? Or you don't have a job for some reason and you're like, I'm trying to have my own money, but for some reason I can't. I find that very hard to believe, even for someone who's very young and is a Leo, that would be a scenario for you, just because Leos tend to be ambitious. But anyway, there are many possibilities. Even if somebody's working, they may feel like they have to be with another person to be able to have the kind of lifestyle they have. But that's the thing. There's always going to be a trade-off, but if you're in an unhappy relationship, it would be way better to live in a studio apartment as far as I'm concerned, and be really a minimalist than to be in a big house and be miserable, absolutely miserable every time that you turn around. You're like, you dread going home, that kind of thing. That's horrible. In the past position, we have the Eight of Swords. So you see this person who they're kind of bound. And those black birds can symbolize thoughts, because the swords represent the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but thought itself. And sometimes people are trapped because of their own thoughts. Their own thoughts are the enemy that keep them stuck. And sometimes people don't see how oppressed they are, how much they can't seem to do something because they're so stuck. But the thing is that even if this is something that was put on you by, let's say, your parents or other adults in your past, and it has led you to get to a place like, the Nine of Pentacles could simply be that you feel that you're working and you're just not making enough to really feel that you're independent. Oh yeah, and independence could be like wanting to retire, or and wanting to leave a job that you can't stand, but not necessarily retire. Maybe you want to start your own business, but it takes time to establish that, but you're really fed up with it now. So all of those things may be going through your head. What I would say is, what are the messages that keep going through your head that you keep telling yourself? because you're going to have to rewire your brain if that's the case. That would be what the Eight of Swords to me demands if you really want things to change. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about that kind of thing. So you can look him up on YouTube. There's all kinds of videos. And he has books too. The higher message is the King of Cups. You see that pendant, it's a fish. So maybe this card is connected specifically to Pisces. But, it's interesting if I look at it from the connection to Pisces. For you specifically, Leo, in astrology, Pisces is your 8th house, which is the house of transformation. This is the house that Scorpio rules in astrology. And in your chart, it's another water sign in the form of Pisces. Right now, we have Saturn in Pisces. We have Neptune in Pisces, both of them retrograding. So both of them having you go within and disciplining yourself from the inside out. Not just, thinking of things in the outer world that you can stay away from, but also within yourself. And this is such a great thing. This may be pointing to some sort of, maybe there's some sort of course of metaphysical studies that will lead you to a place where it can actually impact your finances in a powerful way, because everything to me is connected. One area of life, if somebody has a tendency to kind of think negative thoughts as it pertains to their possibilities in one area, like just low self-esteem in general, that can affect other things. Usually Leo people are very confident, but that doesn't mean that that's true across the board. And there may be certain areas in life where certain Leos are very confident, like their professions, and then in their personal life, they feel very vulnerable. They feel like they might not be able to make something happen, and it bothers them quite a bit. So this may be a mentor or a counselor. The King of Cups can be a therapist. If this is connected to marital issues, maybe a marriage therapist, a life coach. But it's interesting that I would say like the King of Cups, so there's the masculine and feminine element, because it's like the divine masculine in the sense that even though the cups are water and feminine, the idea of empowering yourself through your thoughts. Instead of having your feelings. Instead of having your feelings be something that is problematic in your life, if you're able to be more able to not just go after things like the Leo wants to, go after their passions and their goals, but that feminine aspect is also the art of allowing. So maybe this is part of the problem, is that you're trying too hard, and you're not allowing things to come to you. What crosses you is the Two of Pentacles. You may be torn about even like the type of work that you're doing. Sometimes this can be a job offer that is far away, overseas, over a body of water, and there may be a conflict within yourself about that. But I think it's probably more likely that you are very busy, that you're trying to do two things. Maybe you're trying to go to school and hold down a job, and it is affecting your marriage, and that's making it more likely that you're going to separate, and then you're going to have to live on your own money and all of that. It's like a whole downward spiral. The Two of Pentacles may be that you need to kind of focus. You're spreading yourself too thin, perhaps, and that's affecting your life adversely in different areas. What's coming in is a Page of Wands. This can be good news that you receive. And this news can make you feel exhilarated, like that person. Wands is fire energy, just like your sun sign. Fire, meaning enthusiasm and meaning independence. So with the Nine of Pentacles, if you have been feeling dependent financially, that's going to not feel so good for you because you like that feeling of autonomy. And something may come about that makes you very happy. Maybe it's that you have a new job. Maybe that's why the Nine of Pentacles felt like bad, because you were relying on your partner for money and you didn't have your own stuff going on. The outcome is the Temperance card, which is as above, so below, this balance between heaven and earth. So the ability to understand your need for the spiritual side of life, but not neglecting the practical side, which can make a person ungrounded if they're really like meditating a lot and they're totally into that higher nature, but they're not just embodied. They're kind of like floating around. I remember this, I think it was Ramakrishna. I was reading about his life story and stuff, and those books are about the saints are always so fascinating because they seem so hard to believe. Autobiography of a Yogi, I have it. I haven't read it yet, but they have stories about these saints from India and also, or holy people from India, and of course Ramakrishna fits that bill. And he would sometimes, I don't know if he would ask for this or his disciples would know that he needed it, to give him some rice to ground him, because he was leaving his body all the time, and they were saying, don't leave us, don't leave us. So, the person who's too much on the material side and isn't devoting enough to the spiritual, what can happen in that case is materialism, being too immersed in the physical that is temporary, and that prevents the person from really appreciating the spiritual that is really important when it comes to being able to understand things from a higher perspective. So, we're living these mundane lives. Sometimes we're doing these day-to-day things, but if we're just thinking that that's it, that can have a lot of repercussions attached to it. People can make foolish decisions when they have limited consciousness, when they're not seeing the bigger picture of what they're doing, and they're just focusing on the material aspect. So you're going to be realizing that. And it's interesting that the Nine of Pentacles is the centerpiece, because that is the material. And then I picked a clarification card, and we have the Knight of Swords. So this ability to kind of tell it like it is, in some cases, if you feel oppressed, you may need a lawyer. the Knight of Swords is a lawyer, so or you're not making the money you're supposed to. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict. And like in the workplace, you may be like in a dog-eat-dog environment. So you can go along with that program, but that isn't giving you what you want. Also, if you're in a relationship where your partner is not working or they don't make as much money as you, then the Five of Wands can indicate conflict. If you're experiencing conflict because they're jealous of you, and maybe they're trying to get you back by not working, and then they're not that they're not independent. They're just kind of like living off of you. And there might be a part of you that it makes you feel safe because you feel like you have control over the relationship. Think again, because actually what's happening is that you are being codependent, and you are enabling that person to remain how they are. And sometimes people feel really bad about themselves that they're not accomplishing what they want. But if they have somebody that's going to enable them, and some of these people also have substance abuse issues too. And you have to be aware of how you're contributing to that person's current state by what you're willing to not only put up with, but what you're kind of like funding, even. So the Nine of Pentacles could mean that you want somebody else to be financially solvent or independent. And the last card I drew is the King of Swords. This is actually, to me, connected to Aquarius. Not that this reading is about an Aquarius person, but the point is that Leo people feel things very deeply. And you're also very warm and generous. So don't let somebody take advantage of you financially because they can. Maybe you're with somebody who's emotionally immature and you need a King of Cups in your life. Okay, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.